Derrick Henry's out.
Pardon me?
Are we going to talk about inactives and inactives?
Yeah. Obviously.
Henry.
Welcome to the last fantasy football pregame show of the 2019 season. I'm Ben. This is Matt.
You agree?
Matt, say something. Yes.
Hey, what's up?
Sutton over Chark is the question that somebody's asking Matt right now. And I agree with that. Sutton over Chark.
Sutton over Chark.
Inactives, obviously Derrick Henry, the big one. We're going to get
one.
into Dion Lewis's value in just a bit.
Joe Mixon apparently has the flu or some sort of stomach bug. Is playing reduced role, apparently.
Pardon me? Reduced role, you said?
Yeah, they said they might not.
So Gio might get more touches.
Might get a little bit less.
You just took him out of your DraftKings lineup. That's Joe Mixon that you took out of your DraftKings lineup, not Gio.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to keep. I'm in a third place game. I have to keep Joe Mixon in because I don't have another option.
Yeah, and that's fine. In a yearly fantasy football league, you're not going to just completely abandon Joe Mixon because you'd have to have someone really good to put in there.
Unless you're able to get Dion Lewis this morning.
I don't even think Dion Lewis is going to be very good today. Then we're going to talk about that in a second. But let's get to the DraftKings lineups because Matt forgot to post it on the site this week. Matt, who's your quarterback?
Phillip Rivers.
I got Sticky Fingers Dak Prescott.
Yee.
Who is your first running back?
It was Joe Mixon. Now it is going to be Marlon Mack.
It should be Le'Veon Bell. Super revenge game, Le'Veon Bell. You're going to win your league. Anybody not starting Le'Veon Bell who has them in a yearly league is dumb. Your next running back?
Kareem Hunt. That's who just came in.
Philip Lindsay for me. I like that matchup against Detroit.
Kareem Hunt. I think they're going to be throwing.
I agree. I don't mind Kareem Hunt. We're going to talk about Kareem Hunt in a little bit in the rankings gaps because every week you guys just aren't high enough on the guy who is 11th currently in PPR since he came back. First wide receiver, who's stacking with your quarterback who was Phillip Rivers?
Me, Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. I got Amari Cooper with
I
Dak.
had Coop, and just because Dak didn't practice much, I didn't like it. So I took him
I
out.
like it. I love it. Philly's secondary is terrible. Your next wide receiver, Matt.
I've got, let's go Cortland Sutton.
I also have Cortland Sutton.
All right.
So clearly Cortland Sutton, guy to get. Number 3 wide receiver.
Scary Terry.
I have Darius Slayton, but I do like Scary Terry as well. I just think that the deep threat there with him coming back, with the quarterback Daniel Jones coming back,
Yeah.
I like it. But I do like Scary Terry against the Giants secondary. He should have a big game.
What's Slayton's price?
$5,500. What's Scary Terry's?
62.
That's not bad. I probably have leftover money.
Yeah.
Where does it say where you have leftover money?
The bottom remaining salary.
I guess I went to a different area. Maybe if I go to edit entry. If I take out the Jets defense. Now it tells me I got $3,000. Just enough for the Jets defense, so I don't have any extra money, so I can't do that. But I do have a very expensive flex that I might be changing real quick. Tight end?
Jacob Hollister.
Same.
Self-explanatory. Arizona D.
Flex.
Now it is A.J. Brown. That just changed because of Joe Mixon coming out.
I have Nick Chubb, and I want to change it right now.
A.J. Brown, I think, is better with Henry being out. They'll be throwing a little bit more, I think, than they normally would.
I agree, and he's 1,000. He's 1,000 away from me being able to grab him.
He's 7,000. He's pretty expensive.
6,900 for Chubb.
So he's 100 away, not 1,000.
Yes, sorry, that's what I meant. 100 away. So I just need to make $100 worth of room. Who would I be dropping? And I guess it would be Slayton. And who can I fill in for Slayton at 5,400? Michael Gallup. Really stack it. I'm going to really stack the Cowboys.
Wow. You're really hoping for no Zeke today.
What? That didn't even work out. It wasn't a difference.
Oh,
he was the same price. All right, so that didn't work out. So let's find somebody who's actually 5,400. So I got Crowder, James Washington, Marquise Brown, D.D. Westbrook, Mike Williams is at 5,000.
Yeah, Mike Williams is cheap. In a great matchup for him.
Danny Amendola in a good matchup here.
You think Denver's that good of a matchup?
I think because Cortland Sutton will be probably shadowed by, and there's nobody else. I'll go with Mike.
Cortland Sutton is on the opposite team.
Yeah, sorry.
Kenny Galladay?
Yeah, Kenny Galladay. This says Detroit and Denver. They're very close. It's DE. So I'm going with Mike Williams, which means I have a lot more room for my flex.
Luckily, this is the last live show of the year, so because Ben seems to be going insane.
Yeah, and we almost have the same lineup now. We have Mike Williams, Sutton, Hollister, Brown. Who's your defense?
Steelers, which you probably really don't like.
I have Jets.
Yeah, their
Colts.
defense has been really
Colts
good.
will probably be pretty popular, but I'm going to stick with the Jets.
I do have $100 left over, but I just didn't have anything.
I have 400. I don't really care about leftover money. I've said that before. I just go with the players that I think are going to have good games. And I don't disagree that Mike Williams could have a big game here against Oakland, and A.J. Brown should be used a whole lot more. I was actually going to make a Tannehill A.J. Brown stack earlier. Anyways, that's the lineup, so let's read it over one more time, Matt. I have Dak Prescott, Le'Veon Bell, Phillip Lindsay, Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, Mike Williams, Jacob Hollister, A.J. Brown, and the Jets.
Phillip Rivers, Kareem Hunt, Marlon Mack, Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, Terry McLaurin, Jacob Hollister, A.J. Brown, Steelers D.
All right. Matt, how many finals are you in?
2.
And how's it looking in those finals after Saturday's action?
1, I'm favored by 30.
That's really good.
Yeah, and the other one, I think underdog by 10 now, but my kicker outscored 9. My kicker outscored his, and that's the only guy I had yesterday. Other guy had DeAndre Hopkins, didn't do anything.
Nope.
Perryman was decent. Kittle was good. Gay got an extra point somehow, so now they're tied. He had 7 yesterday, he has 8 now. I don't understand that.
We don't need the whole recap.
Okay. Well, we have time, because we're not doing a Sunday Showdown, are we?
Of course we are.
No, I thought we weren't.
Why would we?
Because I thought it was sealed.
It is.
Alright.
But now the title's on the line.
Oh, I see.
So you have to defend your belt.
Yeah.
I'm only in 1 out of 6. You were 2 of 8. And I have 2 third-place games, one of which I care about, the other one I don't.
I'm in 1 third-place game, which is, I think, projected within 1 point right now, so.
I'm favored by 8 in my dynasty matchup after a poor showing from James White. Not sure why Rex Burkhead had such a big role yesterday. He took away a Sony Michel touchdown that would have helped me in my third-place league that I don't care about, so I wasn't upset. But I really would have liked to see James White do a lot more.
That's why we don't trust the England running backs.
Yeah, it's true, but he had been so consistent. I was looking at his scores, and he had been 10 points basically for like 7 straight weeks. And I was like, I'll take 10 points over my bench. I wasn't going to put in Carlos Hyde, even though he had a better game. I wasn't going to trust Jameson Crowder. It's that simple. It's a Le'Veon Bell game.
What week is it? Week 13.
When he went off.
James White went in his nuts.
Yeah.
Knocked me out of playoffs.
Ouch. But anyways, let's get to our rankings gaps for the weeks. But before we get to those, let's talk about Mike Boone. Where do you have Mike Boone ranked? I saw a take on Twitter yesterday. It was probably the most idiotic take I've ever seen. They said start Mike Boone over Chubb, over Eckler. They had so many different names.
I think I saw the same guy.
I didn't understand. Like, this is a practice squad player for a reason. I get that Matheson's there, and he's a guy they drafted, so they want to use him. I get that Dalvin Cook is a stud. But C.J. Ham is a fullback / running back, and Amir Abdullah gets to play in special teams. But he's still the third, even if he's the third best guy, he's still the third best guy. And he's not going to go like running wild. I know the Green Bay defense against the run has been not the best,
great.
but the last 3 weeks they've been pretty good.
They've been better.
Ever since the 49ers game, they realized that they had to fix that.
Let's figure out how to stop the run.
They held David Montgomery to like under 3 yards a carry. They held Peterson to under 4 yards a carry. Even though he had a decent fantasy game, they still held him to under 4 yards a carry. And I can't remember who the third one was. Do you remember who the Packers played? You should know this.
Before Washington or after Washington?
I'm not sure.
Washington, Chicago, and we'll figure it out after.
Anyways, I'll look it up as Matt. I can't figure it out. But this, like they're going to use Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And they're going to use Adam Thielen and they're going to use Stephon Diggs. I give a boost to the quarterback and the 2 wide receivers now with Boone playing. I think Boone will be okay. I have him starting in the lineup, but I also don't have that many choices with Josh Jacobs out. I have to start DeAndre Washington, and I just can't keep. Like, he keeps sitting Higbee 4 straight weeks with 100-yard games. Congratulations, Higbee. That's fantastic. I don't know why.
You benched him in your league?
I did last minute yesterday because Everett was playing, and I figured, well, I'd rather take the safer option here. The Giants, Saquon Barkley was held under 4 yards of carry. He didn't do much against them either. So, as bad as the run defense was early in the season, it is not that bad anymore. And this is a third string running back.
Yeah, I don't get having him like top 15 or whatever.
Top 25, give or take. That's roughly where he is.
I would say about 25, just because I don't 100% trust that Amir Abdullah is going to have no role. I think he's going to be like their receiving.
Yeah, the third down back.
Yeah. And like you said, I think they're going to rely just more heavily on Cousins to get it done versus the running game. Don't like the takes that I've been seeing on him.
Yeah. So around the 25 spot is where you would rank him?
Yeah.
Okay, so DeAndre Washington ahead or behind him in PPR?
I'm going to say behind, or DeAndre Washington's going to be a little ahead.
Because of the PPR value?
Yeah.
A little bit more PPR-ness?
And just because I think the game flow is going to be different. I think the Raiders are going to be having to score more. I think the Packers-Vikings game will be pretty close, so they won't be like forcing to pass to running backs and stuff.
Yeah, I think they're both around the same spot, like around that 25 spot.
Oh, it's not different, yeah.
It's a good matchup against the Chargers defense, so either of those guys are fine as your flex, and that's kind of what they are for me, although we played with 3 flexes, so they're both in the flex spots. With my running back leading the way is going to be Saquon Barkley, needing a big game for him because some decent monopoly money for third place in this league. But yeah, now let's talk about Dion Lewis. The third guy now with Derrick Henry out. I think Dion Lewis stinks. I think he sucks. I don't think he's very good. I think if you're not playing in a PPR league, you can't start him, not even in the flex. In a PPR league, he can catch passes, and he could have, 6 catches, 7, 8 catches. There's not that much else that's going to happen with no Derrick Henry. It's going to be a lot of Ryan Tannehill. So I'm liking the fact that I benched Tom Brady yesterday for Ryan Tannehill. And I don't think that I would have him even in the top 30, even in PPR.
I think I'd probably move inside the top 30, but it'd be around there. It would be like, 27, 28, 29, somewhere in there. Behind the other two we just talked about.
Again, a thing to consider that I mentioned on the preview podcast, this Saints defense shut down Marlon Mack and the running backs there in Indy last week on Monday night. So if you think that all of a sudden Dion Lewis is just going to become a great running back, if he was this good, he would get more touches.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. He's basically invisible. So
yeah, don't go in expecting him to be Derrick Henry. Like, some people expect that running back, the backup, to just go in and be what the starter was, and it's like, that's last week.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if any of these running backs have made it in here.
Seeing if anybody that played yesterday's in there.
No, they shouldn't be. So I took them out. But anyways, let's get to the rankings gaps now. So there you have our rankings. You have Washington first, Boone, and then Lewis in that order. So if you're looking for a backup running back, none of these guys are great. Get that through your head. None of these guys are great plays.
They're all 25 or lower. Probably.
Yeah, they're all guys that you don't want to be starting ahead of your studs. One of these studs, Kareem the Dream Hunt, who I have ranked 17th. Matt, you have a 25. Do you like Kareem Hunt in PPR more than these 3 guys or less than these 3 guys?
More.
Okay, so you'd have him ahead of that. We agree on that. Kareem Hunt, as I mentioned, 11th.
I just put Kareem Hunt in my DFS.
Yeah, but that's different.
Right.
You could have put Washington in there. Or Dion Lewis, I guess. Kareem Hunt should be a fine play again. Play him ahead of these guys. Let's talk about Le'Veon Bell, who, Matt, I love.
That's really weird. Michael Irvin just picked against the Cowboys.
Interesting. And he looks like he's lost his mind. But he always looks like he's lost his mind. So, Le'Veon Bell, I have him at number 4. Matt, you have him at 19. Not buying the revenge games.
No, that defense is way too good, and that offense is just not good.
All right.
He's still start.
Oh yeah, he's still a good start.
Not top 5. Not top 10.
And again, not like ahead of Boone and all these guys.
Oh, way ahead of us. Yeah.
Now let's talk about DJ Moore on the list here because rookie quarterback. How worried are you?
Not really. I can't see it being a lot worse than Kyle Allen.
But Kyle Allen had built rapport with DJ Moore that took several weeks to go, and now you get this new guy in here who tends to run a bit more.
Will Greer. What do new quarterbacks tend to do?
go to Christian McCaffrey.
Well, that's going to happen a lot, but they'll go to the best players, and DJ Moore is definitely their best receiving target after McCaffrey. So I feel like they're going to be okay with.
I'm worried. I actually told somebody that the safer play was Rashad Perryman, and Rashad Perryman had a decent game yesterday.
I'm kind of surprised. I wouldn't have said that.
Well, safer. Like, definitely the fact that he was the only receiver there.
Yeah, I just thought Houston would do more to take him away.
They didn't, and I don't think they have the ability to. If you're playing with Hargreaves, who was cut from the Bucks.
But we're talking about Rashad Perryman here.
I know, but Rashad Perryman is a first round pick.
So is Hargreaves.
That's true. Fair point.
So is Justin.
But Perryman dealt with a lot of injuries, and that's the reason why he's kind of flamed out. He had that game breaker speed as a deep threat, and this offense likes that vertical threat. So I thought he was a safer play just because he was going to get the volume, whereas I didn't really know what DJ Moore was going to get. But DJ Moore is a guy who's really tough to get out of your lineup this week. I don't know who you would have to have. Would you start DJ Chark over him? Do you think DJ Chark is 100%?
I wouldn't start DJ Chark.
I think DJ Chark is pretty risky this week as well. What about Courtland Sutton?
I would start Sutton over him.
Yeah, so Sutton's safer than DJ
Sutton
Moore.
is wide receiver number 9 this week. So.
Yeah, we had him, but we had DJ Moore in the top 10 too. But then the news cracked after that. So, but let's talk about T.Y. Hilton. Matt, you are quite high on T.Y. Hilton. You're believing
just outside the top 20.
Well, a lot higher than myself and Mr. Black. We have 30 and 34. Why are you a believer in T.Y. Hilton after the performance he put on Monday night against the Saints?
First game back, guys always take a game or so especially from like hamstring injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina's defense is not very good. T.Y. is by far their best receiver. He'll be Jack Doyle's okay there. Ooh. Yeah.
So we got a question relating to T.Y. Hilton.
That's funny.
Mark Lanny's asking T.Y. Hilton or Golden Tate. I don't think this is close.
Yeah,
I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't trust Golden Tate. He's the third guy there. So it's T.Y. Hilton, and it's not close. Mark, thanks for the question. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Any other questions? Drop them in there. Happy to answer them. Don't feel like you're interrupting us. We're doing this. We want to answer questions, so give us the questions. So Tyler Boyd. Next up on the list, again, I don't disagree that Hilton should have a bigger role this week, but he's a very risky play.
Brissett hasn't been as good lately.
No, he's been quite terrible. And when we talk about another one of his pass catchers in a little bit, I was going to say something else about T.Y. Hilton. Again, the season is no longer on the line. Tate's playing against the backup corner.
Tate is number 3 for New York.
Yeah.
That's enough to not start him.
I don't really care. The secondary is not good for Washington in the first place, so... there's no way I'd be starting Golden Tate over T.Y. Hilton. Would he catch one pass last week?
It was a touchdown.
Yeah, one pass for 51 yards, 3 targets. That's just not the volume that you're going to be able to trust. T.Y. Hilton probably had... What was T.Y. Hilton's stat line last week? I don't think it was that great, but...
No, it wasn't great.
Probably had more catches.
Yeah.
They're not playing for anything. Their Colts are eliminated, so they're probably not going to be overly, interested in running T.Y. Hilton out there more so than they need to. But they do have a good matchup against Carolina, as you mentioned, and T.Y. Hilton is the play. If you want to go ahead and start Golden Tate, go ahead. Our advice is T.Y. Hilton. Appreciate the question, Mark. Tyler Boyd, Matt, you have him at 31, so you're a non-believer this week. Interesting. At number 31, Miami.
I'd move up slightly with apparently Mixon being a little bit under the weather. I think they're going to be playing a little bit more.
Okay.
So he'd probably move into like the top 28 or so. Not too much.
So move up about like 3 spots.
3 or 4 spots, yeah. And because I think he'll get more volume than I was expecting. I thought they would just use Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I think he's a much better play, or not a much better play, but a better play than T.Y. Hilton, just because the floor will be higher for him. He's going to get 6 for 80, let's say, or something like that.
Maybe.
And T.Y. Hilton, no guarantee that he gets that, but still a higher floor than Golden Tate. DJ Chark. Matt, I have him at 18. You have him at 28, and we won't even mention where Mr. Black has him.
Well, I guess he didn't expect him to play.
DJ Chark against Atlanta. Atlanta's ranked 18th against the pass. DJ Chark is back, and he's hungry, and he wants the ball. He wants to get over 1,000 yards. Like to get a couple more touchdowns to get to 10. Really have a great breakout season. I think he really wants 1,000 yards, and that's why he's out there. He's going to be the number 1 guy in the passing game. I don't think Atlanta can take him away. Good matchup for Julio, too, against this Jacksonville team.
Yeah.
You just don't buy him as a top 25 play. Would you rather have him or Tyler Boyd?
Ooh, that's close.
It's really close for me too, as you can see by my numbers. But your numbers are 10 spots lower for each guy.
I would go Boyd, I think, just because.
Boyd probably safer play.
With the mix of news here.
And I agree. And with the mixing news, maybe swap him, put him slightly ahead. But now let's talk about AJ Brown, a player that you are apparently down on compared to the rest of us. You have him one spot ahead of T.Y. Hilton. You didn't think about putting T.Y. Hilton into your DraftKings lineup? And
no.
This is pre-Derrick Henry being out, so how far up would you move him now? If you have him at 20, Mr. Black and I had him right around the top 10.
He would move, as you can tell, as I moved him into DraftKings, even at the 7K. He'd be in top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid play this week. AJ Brown really come on strong.
And I mean, Matt Lattimore could be on him all day. That's the one thing about him, possibly.
But I don't really look at Lattimore as being a shutdown
corner. He's not like
corner.
super shutdown. He's not like Patrick Peterson or something.
Yeah, and even Patrick Peterson isn't the Patrick Peterson he used
was
to
on
be.
The screen over there.
Okay.
I thought of his name.
Darius Slayton.
Just talk about him.
You got him at 36 against Washington. I have him at 31. Mr. Black has him at 26.
Yeah, that was pre-quarterback switch.
Oh, so you didn't update it?
No.
Okay.
Same with the next guy. We should just skip that.
Okay.
But yeah, I would move him up a little bit because he's got a better rapport with Daniel Jones than he did with Eli. Even
That's
though
true.
he destroyed Washington or Philadelphia with Eli, but about top 30 for Darius Slayton, 31, 30, somewhere in there.
All right. Where would you rank Juju playing the Jets? Not 100%. He's even admitted that. Is this a guy that you're interested in starting?
I'd have him higher than Mr. Black.
Yeah.
I'd have him about where you do, I think, 30.
So would you rather start him or Darius Slayton?
I'll take Slayton safer.
That's him.
I think Slayton's safer.
I don't think any of the other wide receivers we mentioned you would put behind him, right? You start every single one of those guys ahead of him? We got Juju, Slayton.
Yeah.
So Juju's who we're talking about. Slayton, AJ Brown, Chark, Boyd, Hilton, Moore.
Yeah, he'd be close to
behind
DJ Shark, I think.
He's the closest to DJ Chark?
Yeah, so which means he's relatively close to Tyler Boyd as well because they were close. But I'd start Boyd over Juju. I think I'd put Juju and DJ Shark would be a toss-up for me.
But what about the guy that we're about to talk about, Mike Williams? Do you have him ahead of Juju?
Yes.
Because you have DJ Chark ahead of Mike Williams.
Yeah, I guess I do.
So, Juju, the
Mike Williams, yeah.
The last guy here.
Yeah.
I would rather have Chark than Juju. I don't think it's very close. There's no Juju's a distant the closest one he's closest to is Darius Slayton, and even that I don't think is close. I think there's a tier drop off in my rankings there. Because Juju is who knows what you're gonna get here.
Oh, especially with the quarterback play.
Yeah, the quarterback play, and he's going to be on the short leash, and then the net of the quarterback, so he's going to try to play it safe and make sure he doesn't turn the ball over, so it's going to be a lot of dink and dunk. I could see Jalen Samuels having a bigger role, or James Conner catching a lot of passes. But let's talk about Jack Doyle, last player on here. We'll just skip through Mike Williams because we just talked about him. Then you have him at number 8, myself 14, Mr. Black 13. Why do you like this guy with the poor quarterback play that's been going on? I'm just not buying his production. I think it's poor quarterback play. I think he's in a fine position to do well, but the quarterback play is not helping.
No, it is worse, but poor quarterback play usually leads to shorter passes. You're going to go with Jack Doyle here.
I see a lot of running in this game, too.
Oh, yeah, Carolina's run defense is god-awful. Talked about that a lot.
Yeah, we said that you could average about 2 yards per carry against them.
Yes, we did. Jack Doyle, he's an okay play. 8's a high number, I guess, but there's not a ton of world beater tight ends in front of him.
What type of stat line are you looking for Jack Doyle today?
6 for 70, something like that. 6 for 70, maybe a touchdown.
You do have him ahead of Austin Hooper and Jared Cook and Jacob Hollister. And, so you do trust him. Trust him a whole lot more than I do.
Yeah, I think he's safe. I think the floor is high for him.
I think the floor is about 40 yards.
With, 4 or 5 catches?
Yeah.
That's decent for a tight end.
Yeah, it is, but I just think there's some better options who have that floor. I think Jacob Hollister's floor is probably 3 for 40. and then he's probably got some high touchdown upside. But anyways, that's going to wrap up the rankings gap for this Week 16, the final week of the Fantasy Football Pregame Show, brought to you by BlueDuckFantasy.com. We're going to move right along here, doing great for time.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to talk about somebody I saw on Instagram yesterday, and I was angered by this. As you can see, I can't even speak. I'm so angry about it. There's this guy on Instagram. He's a fantasy football account, and I'm not one to bash other fantasy football accounts, but this guy is the worst. He's like one of the highest followed accounts, so you probably know who I'm talking about. And yesterday he called Dalvin Cook a bust, and they patted himself on the back for calling Dalvin Cook a bust in the preseason because he wasn't playing this week.
Oh.
How can you do that?
That's pretty dumb.
This is just the first thing. We're not even getting into the bigger things.
He was, what? I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Top 5 running back,
yeah.
Top 3 running back all season long. Missed half a game last week, which cost a lot of people. We've said all season he's injury prone.
And he's probably going to get hurt at some point.
And we said make sure you have Alexander Mattison. It turned out you needed to have Boone.
Yeah.
And you can't really do anything when you start a guy and he gets hurt in the middle of this of the game. But that happens. It's fantasy football. There's no guarantees. But to pat yourself on the back after calling him a bust is ridiculous.
Okay, Barry Horowitz.
Then he pat himself on the back for calling Deebo Samuel as a good player to pick up because of the game he had yesterday. Who in the right mind in the fantasy football finals was starting Deebo Samuel yesterday?
Outside of
I had Deebo Samuel really high this year. He was a guy that we drafted a lot late in drafts.
Yeah.
Once Emmanuel Sanders came over, we thought his value's it's not going to be great. He does it on very limited touches. So to pat yourself on the back for that is just idiotic. But now let's talk about where he was wrong. This is the guy I was talking about for Chris, who was I saw Chris message on one of his posts.
Oh, okay.
His number 1 pick for the year was David Johnson.
Yeah.
And he said that David Montgomery was a 3rd round pick. So
not so much on Montgomery. I was kind of around that same area, maybe
3rd?
Well, maybe 4th.
5th?
4th or 5th, maybe, but not like he probably had him maybe a top 15 back then, top 20.
I think he had him as a top 10 back.
Okay.
But this is the thing that bothers me. Oh, he also said Derrick Henry. He was right about Derrick Henry, but he's not talking about Derrick Henry sitting out today either, which is it's just stupid. He said, "Oh, everybody said he was the bust," and I said he wasn't, and then he called out it's just about how loud the guy can yell, and people just. Yeah. Flock to that, and it really bothered me yesterday seeing that because people are looking into this for advice.
Did you call
and they're
him on that?
No, I just unfollowed him because I just didn't want to see this anymore. I wasn't going to get involved in a yelling match with this guy because that's exactly what he wants. He's looking to get a rise out of people, and he got a rise out of me, but I just didn't put finger to phone to let him know what I thought. But just an absolutely idiotic take to pat yourself on the back for calls that don't matter. To call someone a bust when you said that another guy wasn't a bust, even though they're in the same boat, and then to have some of the worst draft advice ever. Anyways, that's enough.
Who saw DJ doing this?
No one.
To be fair.
But if you're gonna pat yourself on the back for calling Dalvin Cook a bust when he misses a week and a half, you need to take note of the fact that you had David Johnson as your number 1 running back this season, over Saquon, over Christian McCaffrey. Over Dalvin Cook, but I don't know. Like I said, it's just about how loud the guy can yell, and it really bothered me. Let's get to Sunday Showdown, something that I enjoy. Congratulations, Matt, on your 9th win of the season last week, wrapping up the title, the first ever.
Is this the new?
Yeah, sorry, that's how it works. So, the Fantasy Football Sunday Showdown champion. You now have to buy a belt to bring to the show.
This belt here. This
no.
is as good as you get.
And,
sorry about that. And not just on my belly.
Hopefully no one's watching. Oh, there's someone who saw it.
Maybe it's Chad.
I think Chad's on vacation, so I don't think it's Chad. Okay, so
He's been texting me a lot, so.
Now you are defending your title on the line, belt's on the line, so you get to pick if you want to go first or if you want to go second. I will read off the names in the A group. You know what? Let's go over the rules first to make sure people understand. There are 3 categories of players. There are A-class players, B-class players, and C-class players. These are based on the consensus rankings of all the pundits, as Matt likes to say. So we get these from Fantasy Pros. Take out the Saturday games. take out the
Monday night?
Sunday? I didn't take out Sunday night.
No,
I don't even think I took out Monday. Who's Monday?
Packers and Vikings. I don't
I see a Viking there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't take those out either. So they're in, and it doesn't really matter because we're not going to have another show. So as long as the games from yesterday aren't in, we're good to go. Usually we take out the Sunday night and Monday night. It's half-point PPR. We each get a quarterback. We each get 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and we pick each other's flex, trying to pick the worst guy possible for the other person. We're allowed 2 players from the A group, 2 players from the C group, and 4 from the B group. Let's go through the names. From the A, quarterback from Kansas City at Chicago, Patrick Mahomes and Drew Brees, also there. B quarterbacks, Mitch Trubisky and Ryan Tannehill. In the C group, Baker Mayfield and Ducky Hodges from Pittsburgh. As for running backs in the A group, we have Nick Chubb, Chris Carson, and Sicky Sick Joe Mixon. 6 running backs in the B group, David Montgomery, Latavius Murray, or Latvius Murray as we like to call him.
Latavius Murray's in A, B, and C, FYI.
Right, well, he shouldn't be in both, so that's obviously an issue. Which group would you like to have him in?
Whatever. Just have him in.
No, he's in both.
Alright.
Miles Sanders, Tariq Cohen, Lev Bell, Devonta Freeman, and in the C group we have Latavius Murray, Damian Williams, and Kerryon Johnson. Matt, why don't you mention the wide receivers while I go check out that issue?
Alright, so in A, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, DJ Moore. In B, my entire screen just went blank here, so just 1 second. Alright, we got Sterling Shepard, T.Y. Hilton, Tyrell Williams, Odell Beckham Jr., Chris Conley, Cortland Sutton, D.D. Westbrook, Darius Slayton, Scary Terry, and Jamison Crowder. In C, we got Sammy Watkins, Albert Wilson, and Corey Davis. And in for tight ends, out of A, we got Austin Hooper, Darren Waller, in B group, Dallas Goedert and Hunter Henry. And in the C group, we got Ray Golson and Irv Smith. And it looks like in the C group now we've got Jamal Williams for running back instead of Latavius Murray.
Yeah, Latavius Murray's 30th ranked guy.
So that is that.
So the question is, do you want first pick, or do you want me to pick first?
I'll let you go first.
Tannehill?
Ryan Tannehill. So that's a quarterback.
That is a quarterback.
Out of B.
B quarterback.
B, that was very fast. So you must have had that scouted out. I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton and Scary Terry.
Okay.
Both wide receivers out of the B group. B.
I am going to take Chris Carson.
Okay.
And what's the deal with Hunter Henry? Is he healthy?
Is he not?
Or he might not be.
Oh, I've got him in a
I'm going to check
third
that.
place game. So I hope he's healthy.
There was a rumor about, or maybe it was Derrick Henry they were talking about.
Well, Derrick Henry is hurt, yes.
Yeah, so give me Hunter Henry
Okay.
out of the B group. He was actually supposed to be my first pick.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with. Okay. Let's go with. Oof. Actually, quite a few players I don't mind here today.
Mm-hmm.
You got a tight end, you got a quarterback, so I'm not going to take one of them.
Good.
So I got to go running back or wide receiver. Let's go. Man, I got to make a pick here. I guess we have extra time.
Yeah, we have extra. I've got another 20 minutes of this.
Let's go with
You got
Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams out of the C group.
Yeah. gotta do another one. Hold on. So, I'm gonna do what I just said I wasn't gonna do and take Greg Olson out of a C group as well.
Alright, I will take Le'Veon Bell.
I knew you wanted him. I did not.
And I will take Sammy Watkins from the C group.
Yeah, decent names in C this week.
Yeah. Possibly. Actually, I don't know if it has anything to do with the extra games we have in.
Okay. So we're gonna go with running back and wide receiver, quarterback here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking Mitch Trubisky, that's for sure. So my quarterback's gonna be Mahomes, but I'm gonna wait on that.
So Matt has just told everyone that he's going to be taking Patrick Mahomes against Chicago instead of Drew Brees, trying to break the record for most catches by Michael Thomas today.
Yeah. You know what, I'll just take Pat Mahomes anyway, even though I don't need to.
Just to get this going.
Get it going here, and let's go with... Oh, that's an A group pick. Wrote B beside him. And... don't like any of those guys particularly that much. I'm gonna go with Mr. Let's see, we need one A left. It's gonna be Keenan or Chubb. I'm gonna go Chubb.
Nick Chubb at the pick.
Yeah, Nick Chubb.
Right, I will take Keenan Allen. Oh, you're done A?
Yeah.
But is this my last two picks?
These
Yeah.
are-
So give me Keenan Allen because I don't want to get stuck with either DJ Moore or Joe Mixon.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And now this just comes down to how bad are the players in the B group versus how bad are the players in there's Chris Conley in the B group, so I can't leave that. So I need a wide receiver and I need another B pick, so I have 3. And who has been taken? Is Sutton taken?
Yes.
And Slayton?
Nope, you can have
Scary Terry?
I've got Scary Terry, yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to go to my rankings, which are live on BlueDuckFantasy.com, and take a look to see who I have higher between a couple of players here. Go to PPR. We are playing half PPR. And my rankings. You can sort by my rankings, Matt's rankings. Well, looks like I had Scary Terry and Cortland Sutton really high, so they were on my list of players to pick. Both ahead of Allen Robinson. It looks like Sterling Shepard might be the highest in PPR. Slayton's actually behind T.Y. Hilton. I'm gonna go with Odell Beckham.
OBJ.
Simply because it's half PPR and Sterling Shepard's value really comes from PPR. And, you know, they're going to be chasing points all day, so.
Alright.
So go ahead, pick your final wide receiver.
So.
Would you need a C or B, I guess?
You're gonna give me a B. So.
And I'm going to be picking a flex for you out of the B group.
I'm assuming you're gonna give me Conley.
I'm assuming I'm probably going to give you...
Or Tyrell again.
No, I'm not giving you Tyrell. He dominated for you last time.
Alright.
I'm definitely not giving you Tariq or David Montgomery or Latavius.
Let's see who I like here.
Yeah, I'm definitely giving you Conley. You could just write Conley in for you.
Yeah, I'll put Conley in as my B flex.
Yeah.
And
This is why I didn't want to leave myself a B wide receiver.
I don't understand why he's that high.
I think the DJ Chark maybe not playing affected that.
Maybe. Let's go with whatever, I'll take Sterling Shepard.
Sterling, Lion, Shepard.
And you are going to get...
Albert Wilson. Damon Williams. The choices are Damon Williams, Kerryon Johnson, Albert Wilson, or Corey Davis. Some pretty decent choices. I like every single one of those. If I were to rank them in order in a half PPR league, it would be Kerryon 1, Corey Davis 2, Damon Williams 3, and Albert Wilson 4.
I think that's weird.
Why?
I don't know.
I went from best to worst.
I think Damian Williams is the best player of that group.
I don't know how many touches he's going to get, though. That's the thing. So
how do you know Carry-On's going to get?
They said Carry-On's going to get pretty much a decent workload. At least
I don't think so. I don't buy that.
I don't buy Damian Williams being even the third back. He might be behind where?
I'm probably going to give you one of the wide receivers regardless because I don't trust those two running backs.
Well, you might as well give me the man, Corey Davis, then.
I feel like that's going to be a throwing game. Yeah, you can have Corey Davis, sure.
Well, it was Corey Davis or Corey Davis because those were the options.
You did not want Albert Wilson, did you?
I didn't care against Cincinnati. I'll take it. We'll probably be good, like 5 or 6. But happy to get somebody to cheer for that we've whiffed on this season. That's Corey Davis.
You have a stack now.
I have a stack.
Yeah.
Tannehill.
Corey Davis.
And I also have 2 Chargers pass catchers.
Yes. Very good.
Why don't you run down the teams? And you guys can let us know in the comments who you like best.
Okay. Ben has Ryan Tannehill, Chris Carson, Lev Bell, Keenan Allen, Odell Beckham, Sammy Watkins, Hunter Henry, and Corey Davis.
I like it.
I have Pat Mahomes, Chubb, Jamal Williams, Sutton, Terry McLaurin, Shepard, Greg Olson, and Chris Conley.
And for the first time, the title is on the line. The defending champion, the first inaugural season-long champion. Maybe your name will get on the plaque for that. Ooh. But from now on, it's defending the title every week. Did you go through your team already? Yeah, your garbage team with Conley. Conley and Company, as we like to call your team. Hopefully next season we can maybe add an extra person to this. We can have a 3-person Sunday Showdown.
Ooh.
Interesting because we're not picking first or second. You're either picking first, second, or third, and defending champion we get to pick what they want. So you'd look at it and think, well, do I want this guy then? So that's going to add a wrinkle to it, hopefully, for next year. Even if we have a rotating guest, different one every week, we can just say that the guest has the championship and whoever it is. We're probably going to wrap this up early today. Not that many people still alive in fantasy. It's the finals, so either you're in your bronze medal game or you're in your championship game.
Or you're out.
Or you're out, and those who are out are probably not watching. And those who are in have questions, but might not be able to find us.
A lot of our audience is probably out as we haven't had much interaction today.
No, and it is the holiday season as well, so a lot of people just aren't in their usual establishments. But we're here, and we're going to be here for another 7 minutes. I'm going to shut her off about 5-2, so 6 minutes now. Matt, you have anything you want to talk about fantasy football-wise, other than your hate of kickers? I have a question for you.
Kickers are down.
Dynasty League.
No kickers.
Yeah, there's no kickers in my Dynasty League.
Right.
But what do you think of because there's no IDP, it's just defenses. Do you think that's kind of stupid?
Yeah.
Because it's not a developing asset. You don't, from year to year, it's
It's too random.
up and down.
Yeah.
Like I had the Patriots defense this year, which worked out great.
Yeah.
But I'd be in favor of getting rid of it just because you're not developing a player. You're not.
Well, you just don't know. Like, it's going to be so different next year.
But at the same time, it's different with the Dynasty League. Like, if you grab a linebacker, you know that player that you're grabbing, right? As in an IDP format, it's like, oh, this rookie just got drafted, I'm going to take him. And you can even have, like, an IDP draft every year, right? To have a regular draft, have an IDP draft. But this is never marked as an IDP league, so to make the switch from defense to IDP is a bigger switch than just dropping defense. And so it's something I'm going to bring up in my Dynasty League if it continues. I am about to, or have a chance to win for the second year in a row, which would make me the champion of the Empire Pot. For those of you who don't know what an Empire Pot is, we've talked about it several times. Basically, every year, half the money we put in goes to an Empire Pot, and as soon as somebody wins 2 years in a row, they get it all. So this is the second year of the league. I won last year, and I'm in the finals this year, projected to win by, I think, 6 or 8.
Too bad it wasn't a little bit later on in the league.
True, but there's no guarantee that the money's going to be there, right? If I just keep winning every year, I'm just going to keep getting the Empire Pot. So,
that's true.
I guess it resets if I do win. We are going away from ESPN next year, though. We're going to Sleeper. You ever played on Sleeper?
No, never even heard of it.
It's just an app.
Frankly, it sounds made up.
Well, it's not made up. Apparently, one of the owners wasn't on board with it quick enough for us to make the switch this year. We ended up with bigger rosters than we were supposed to have too because we added extra spots for the off season and we couldn't get rid of them. So the ESPN platform isn't my favorite. I don't know how you feel about it.
I think it's okay. I like better than CBS. CBS is my least favorite.
I think CBS plays a lot better. If they were both free, which one would you like better?
ESPN still.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like CBS.
What do you dislike about CBS?
I just don't like it.
Well, there has to be a reason for it. Like, what is it not to like? Like on the app. Like I find the app is.
I don't like the app for trying to find people's moves. You gotta go into like league feed. And
I think the Yahoo app is the best one of all of them.
Yahoo's definitely the best. Yeah.
And I don't understand why everybody doesn't play on that one.
Oh, I picked up Deion Lewis before you could.
Oh, I wasn't planning on that. It's just
picked up Tony Pollard.
Yeah, and I was just looking at players from next year. You think I grabbed Justin Jackson this morning?
No.
Yeah. So.
I picked up Deion Lewis, so you can.
Where would you rank the Reality Sports Online app in the?
Probably at the bottom.
Dead last.
Yeah, but
that's a work in progress. They've actually improved their app.
It
used to be even worse.
They have.
It used to just be non-functional. And I understand how everybody paying, $13 for the league, every owner. You can't afford to do better than that, but.
I think that's a lot to do with like the type of leagues though, like with the salaries and trying to keep the what's the word here? Like not the text, but like the trying to keep like the system functional.
Right, the algorithm has to be there,
yeah,
but
that's the word. Algorithm.
At the same time, once you have the algorithm set up, there's not much, like you're just tweaking it here and there to be like, okay, this is not working that well, which wasn't working that well with the contract extensions, which they've improved on and still aren't great. But one of the rules is the player won't take a pay cut too. So that's if you have a high.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, they won't take a pay cut.
Wow.
So if you have somebody who's
it's pretty rude on the player's part.
Yeah, well, if you're going to extend them in season, it's usually because you're giving them a raise, right? It's not because you're. But
let's see.
Any other apps that you play on other than ESPN, Yahoo, CBS, or Reality Sports Online?
No, I used to do NFL. I really didn't like that one. NFL.com.
It's very flashy, but it doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
Next year, with us moving away from CBS for the waiver targets articles and stuff like that, not sure what we're going to do. CBS has always been way off on the other ones, and I think that's because it was a paid one. So it's usually whenever there's a player that should be owned, it was already like 80% owned there, and it was still under 50% owned in other leagues. Yeah. Either NFL.com might come in, or we might just use ESPN. I actually want to find out which one is the biggest one. Do you think it's ESPN or NFL.com?
Probably NFL.com.
No, don't plan on that one. So maybe we'll just do two. Maybe we'll just do ESPN and.
I feel like it's probably NFL.com, but I don't know. Maybe it's ESPN. I don't think it's Yahoo.
No, I don't think it's Yahoo either, which is surprising because for fantasy sports, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's the easiest
great.
to use. It's most user friendly.
Yeah, the one thing I used to love about CBS back say like 10 or so years ago was it was one of the few ones that had. This was before everything was on the phone, right? People still watch games and have their laptop out, and there was a chat room type thing where you could continually message, which was. But now everything has that. It's just on the side, so you can always chirp throughout the games. Although I don't get notifications from Yahoo whenever there's anything in it.
I don't get notifications from anybody when there is.
I don't even know how to get into the chat anymore for CBS. CBS has just really gone downhill. That's going to wrap it up for us here. This is the final show of the year.
You lead chat for CBS.
Oh, I know, but wait for it to load. Oh, wow, yours loads right away. Mine on my PC won't even load.
Oh.
And nobody messages anything there anyways.
No.
But what week did we start in? We failed week 1.
What do you mean? Start what?
This show.
Well, week 2, I guess.
Do you think it was week 2, or do you think we also failed week 2?
No.
Okay. So the 15th show of the year?
Week 1 was okay. I always have to write down what I have to say and talk to the guy.
Yeah, since some of that you were...
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey.
Yeah. Which is flattering.
Yeah, I guess. He's skinny now, right?
Yeah.
Matt, anything to add before we go?
Thanks for watching all year and listening. Hopefully you did both.
See you next year. Best of luck today. And that's it.